Hey, it's Laurie McNaughton, the founder of Scale Up Business Solutions. And today's lesson is going to tie in nicely with one that I posted about the formula for change. So dissatisfaction times vision plus first steps becomes greater than pardon me, your resistance to change. Let me get a drink of water. So this lesson about pain and pleasure comes directly from training that I took with Tony Robbins back in either 1993 or 1994. It's called Life Mastery. And when we showed up on the stage, there's these two giant pillars, and one said pain and one said pleasure on it. And Tony went on to explain about how people either move away from pain or they move towards pleasure. And so I'm going to use an example of a salesperson because it ties in nicely with uh, the lesson, and that is, let's just say a salesperson, they need $10,000 every month to cover all their expenses and make a few bucks. And the first 2 weeks they hit their $10,000. The next 2 weeks they can't get themselves to do another thing. They can't make a call, can't do anything. Uh, Same guy needs $10,000 a month. 2 weeks have gone by. He hasn't made that 10,000. This guy is, or gal is highly motivated, and out they go crazy, making calls like crazy, just upping the activity until they hit their $10,000. So what we need to do is, how do we set, if we use an idea of a thermostat, because if 70 is comfortable and it dips below 70, the thermostat or the furnace kicks in and warms it back up. If it gets beyond above 70, it shuts down. So that 10,000 is the thermostat setting. So as a business owner, let's just say you need $20,000 a month or $100,000 a month or whatever it is a month to break even. You've got to set your goals beyond that. And you've got to tie a lot of pleasure into getting that so that you're not just moving away from pain, because people that only move away from pain are reactive. And you're going to recognize this because how do you know if you're a reactive business owner? Your day is consumed by people asking you questions is one way that you're reactive, and or you tend to be a little bit angry, a little stressed out, a little frustrated, maybe a little anxious at times, especially when you haven't sold enough that month in order to cover off the expenses inside your company. And so you're more reactive. So that means you're a moving away from pain kind of person. So what we don't want to be a moving away kind of person. We want to move towards pleasure. So as I talked about in the formula for change is like, what does pleasure really look like? So, let's just say you need $100,000 a month to break even in your company, or maybe it's $1 million a month. I don't know. It just depends on the size of your business. Just to break even. So you got to set your goals beyond that, and you got to get really clear on why it would be pleasure. First of all, I think for a lot of people, accomplishing things is a big motivator. Like, that's why I do what I do. I love accomplishing things. I love being able to push myself outside of my normal comfort zone. And I'm going to talk about that in a minute, to do extraordinary things. Now, there's other things that drive me as well. I really like helping people. I like, nothing makes me happier when I help a business owner get their business running so it really functions and thrives and grows, and they don't even need to be there to make that happen. So that's really enjoyment for me. And plus, I get to help people that work for them, because I have just as much empathy towards the employees as I do to that business owner who's paying me to help them, because I want people to experience life at its best. So these are some of the things that motivate me. And plus, I love to travel, so I need money to travel. I have a beautiful home. I have a nice car. I have a beautiful wife. We have all kinds of the creature comforts of home, but we both like to travel. And so that's where, a portion of our money goes to all the time. And so these are the things that drive pleasure for me. So I move towards those things. I work to do stuff so that I can have those things. So I'm not being reactive, I'm being proactive about building a successful coaching practice, which I've done for over 20 years now. And so think about from your business again, and I'm going to just touch on the formula for change again. Dissatisfaction is the pain side of things here. So that's where you feel dissatisfied. Get clear on what that is for you. And, breaking even, everybody should be dissatisfied with that. Think about when you hit your break even point. Let's just say you got a 20% or 30% gross profit margin. That's where you start to make profit. So understanding break even, which will be another video that I'll post here later. So get clear on what that break even is, and then say, okay, so if break even is $100,000 a month, then we need to get to $150,000 a month, because 20% of that, or 30% of that, whatever your gross profit margin is where the profit is in the company. So instead of moving away from, you're moving towards a vision of a brighter future, one more exciting. Now, there's a danger point here all the time. And this is why we talk about there's a law in nature that says if you're not growing, you're dying. So if a plant isn't growing, it's dying. If you personally aren't growing, you're dying. If your business isn't growing, it's dying. So you've got to be really aware of this comfort zone, because this is what, as again, those guys that only move away from pain get stuck in this comfort zone, because I'm comfortable with $10,000 a month, or I'm comfortable with $100,000 a month, or I'm comfortable with whatever amount of money that is in a month, and push through that. One of the things that and with clients, especially some clients that have kept me on for long periods of time, is they kind of get into this comfort zone, and I push them outside of that comfort zone all the time. And I say, listen, don't fall into here, because what happens is you go, oh, I'm really doing well. I'm making lots of money, doing all this stuff. And so you start to take your eye off the ball, which is at the highest level as the CEO, is, where are we going? How are we going to get there? What do I need to do to help my team get there? And then all of a sudden, your business, which was growing like this, all starts to contract. And I've seen it happen. And part of the reason why I've gotten kind of, how would I put it? When I see clients getting stuck there, I'm on them, because it's a danger zone. It's a disaster that's just waiting to happen. All right, so that's your lesson for today. Listen, if you want to know what it's like to work with me, help you get to where you want to be a lot quicker, whether it's having a lot more fun, working a lot less, making a lot more money, and having a team that you can rely on, that's accountable, a high performance team, I'm going to put a link in the description so you can book a discovery call with me. or I also run I don't do this all the time. I'm doing one on February 6th called the Business Reset. And then I'll probably do one again in the future, but I'm not going to put a date on that for now. So if you're watching this is before February 6th, there'll be a link in here also that you can join our Business Reset, which is a 3-hour program. And basically what I'm going to do in that first hour is talk about why you're the bottleneck in your company, why your company relies on you. And it's a workshop. It's not me lecturing people on things. It's a workshop. So you're going to see for yourself as you go through this, where and what's keeping you tied to this business so much, where you've become the bottleneck in your company. And then we're going to talk in the second hour about how you build an accountable team. And then the third hour, we're going to start building a 90-day plan so that you can start taking action immediately. Thanks for listening. Again, my name is Laurie McNaughton from Scale Up Business Solutions. Book a discovery call or join us for our Business Reset, and we'll talk about how we can get you where you need to be a lot faster and with a lot more fun.